Welcome back to another episode of Seeking the Light of a Thousand Suns. Today we have a very special guest with us who's going to delve into the fascinating art of palmistry. But before we introduce our guest, a quick reminder to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform and leave us a review if you enjoy our content. Now let's get to our special guest today, Myrna Liu.
Hi.
She does lectures and holds palmistry seminars worldwide and has been reading palms for over 70 years. She is a master palmist, award-winning author, relationship and soulmate reader, and a palmistry teacher. She's a member of the Global Palm Reading Hand Analysis Network, Worldwide Hand Analysis, and the International Metaphysical Practitioners Association. With over 59,000 palms read, she is the only palmist in the world that reads photocopies and scanned palm prints with 90 to 95% accuracy during a live show. Welcome, Myrna.
Welcome. Thank you for having me.
So I want to jump in and ask you a question. How did you get introduced to palmistry, and what do you love most about it? Out of all the modalities that you could have specialized in, you chose the hands. Why? Tell us about that.
Well, first I was 10 years old. I was, I think, in 4th grade, and I showed up in Dayton, Ohio, where my mother was a nurse, for a ride home after school. I took 2 buses to get there, and she couldn't leave. The next shift didn't show up, so she reached over to the volunteer wagon and just said, "Here, read this," and she gave me a book on palmistry. So she didn't look at the title or the author, or she never would have given it to me. So I sat down to read it, and I couldn't understand one word of the verbiage. It was clear over my head, but I could understand the pictures. So I went back every day for 6 months. That's 2 semesters. Every single day I took 2 buses to go there to read that book because they wouldn't let me take it home. I memorized it. So to this day, I still know that book. If I would see it, I would recognize it.
Oh, cool. That's
yeah. So you asked me why I picked palmistry. Besides it picked me, I love to help people. And there's people in a quandary. Many times they don't know if they hate their job, they hate their partner, they don't like where they live. And so by looking at the palm, I can help them. It's sort of like guiding them out the door.
Yeah. It's like your life's purpose is to help people, and then the channel is palmistry, right?
Right.
I love that. So, actually, Maya was the one who mentioned this to me because I had no idea. When you guys had done like your little chat before this episode, there are different like modalities, like style schools of thought of palmistry, and there's like Asian and Hindu, I think it is, and
there's 15 kinds. 15 kinds of palmistry in the world.
Can you briefly speak on that? Because like when she said it, I was kind of like, really? I had no idea.
We call you a psychic virgin because you didn't know. Okay, so Hindu is very complicated, and it takes many, many hours of learning. Usually people charge $800 or $1,000 to teach it. And the one I do is Oriental, comes from China. I teach it in 2 hours, and I guarantee the person could read after that. Big difference. Okay,
yeah.
Very simple. I don't know if you can see this if I hold it up, but this is my hand. Can you see that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's just got a few basic lines on there. So I do 5 basic lines in every reading, and then there's symbols. Mm-hmm. So the lines are like love, work, reproduction, the bracelets, lifeline. Then when I'm done with that, I look and see what symbols are popping up, and I tell people about that too. And the symbols, there's hundreds of them. So this is a list. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah.
Of the symbols that I hold up, that I look at for people. And there's some of them we all have, and some only I had from my hand when I made this list up, and some you have that I've never seen before. Okay. So I'm always learning.
Cool. So you bring up pictures of hands. I know that I sent a picture of my hand. I don't know if the other two did.
Yes.
I
Yeah,
didn't
we
ask.
all-
I just
have
got
all of
excited.
them.
Same here.
I did your report. Normally I do 5 or 6 pages typed, and it takes me an hour to do a report. But I have a format that I follow, and I do those 5 basic lines. But for you guys, I wanted to do something special, so I wrote it up a different way.
Awesome.
Thank you. Can you is it inappropriate? I don't know about the other two, but can you
Yes.
share a little bit about our reports on the episode so people
It
can
was
see you
very
flex your
interesting.
expertise?
You're not alike. All 3 of you are different. Would you admit that you're not the same personality? You're all an individual, and each one has some similarities, but not much. It was mainly all different. But I love doing it, and I spent a long time because I wanted them to be special. So when I do a regular reading, if somebody sends it to my email, I run up to the computer with my magnifier, I get real close and I study the lines, I make notes, longhand, then I go back and do the report and email it to them.
Wow.
So
Very
it's a
cool.
long time to do a good reading.
How are the hands the mirrors of the souls?
I can't hear you. What?
How are the hands the mirrors of the souls?
Okay. Everything that your brain is impacted by, happy times, bad times, sad times, nervous, whatever it is, going to show up on the hand. And I see it and I detect it. So it's like being a detective in a way. And I say, so I see that you had 4 children, but you really only wanted 2, that you got talked into the other 2. And I can tell that by the hand.
That is
Or
fascinating.
Yeah, if somebody's got a secret, it's a big, dirty secret, and they don't want anybody to know they have a separate safety deposit box. I see that. So the hand is a mirror of what's going on with that person. Just like the eyes are the mirror to the soul,
Yeah.
the hand is also.
Oh, now I'm scared.
I'm curious.
I got secrets.
Well,
I want to know my
them.
secrets.
I timed it to see how long it takes for me to read one, and they're all about 3 or 4 minutes, so it's not a lot. I didn't do the whole, my format that I normally do, but I made notes and I went back and forth on your hands till I was going crazy because 3 of them I wanted to be all really good, so I was working. And I
So
said,
it won't.
you'll probably like them.
So it won't tell you where the bodies are buried, right?
You're going to enjoy hearing about yourself. You know you, but I don't know you, right? So when I do it, you'll probably be sitting there going, right, yeah, yeah. That's what people do. And some people lie. They say, no, I've never been married. What do you mean there's a divorce there? When I get all done, they go, I lied. I was married and divorced. You can't lie to me because I know the hand doesn't lie. And I can interpret it.
All right.
Maya's. Can we do Maya's first?
No.
Now she's getting so nervous.
Oh
we
my
have to do
God.
Maya first because that's the one I did first. So I brought up on hers, and she's already breathing funny.
We're having technical
I'll
difficulties.
just show you. It's a really big, long
Oh,
page thing that I typed up. So I have to wear my glasses to do this. Okay. So I'm gonna do.
I bet you it says that you're fabulous and that you look really good with different hair colors. I bet you that's what the poem said.
No, it doesn't.
Oh.
Doesn't have anything to do with physical appearance. Okay. So I started with the lifeline with hers, and I said her longevity is into the 90s, and she may or may not go to 120 to 130 because people around 48 to 54 could go that long. People older than 54 wouldn't see it, but modern technology, science, medicine, different things are going to come in your lifetime, and she's on the cusp. She may or may not see that. Lily will see it. I think Gia sees it too. I won't get to see it because I'm way up in the 80s. Okay, So she has an opportunity to maybe go that long, if not to the 90s, but she'll be perfect. In other words, no major illnesses, nothing terrible is going to happen. So did you all know that everyone is 9 months older than they're told by their mother? Because Oriental palmistry counts inception, a conception is birth.
Oh.
That we're all 9 months older than our birthday that we celebrate.
Mhm.
So that puts her in the next group, but she's still on the cusp. So the Oriental belief system, which is what I use in palmistry, says her birthday isn't what we think. Okay, none of yours are. So her gene pool shows she's a product made up of survivors and fighters. I can see ear, nose, and throat issues at a young age. Then she either had her tonsils out or she outgrew that. Her immune system kicked in at 8 in the second grade, and usually it's 5 in probably first grade or kindergarten. Most children take over at 5 or 6, and she was a little late. Her puberty was difficult, and she caught up with others in the same age bracket. She was just reluctant to give up her youth. Health is great and always has been. No life threatening diseases, no wheelchairs, hospitals, Alzheimer's, none of that. So the love line shows she was boy crazy at 11 or 12, but she was shy, so she didn't call them up, go to their locker, send them notes in school, none of that. I did all that. So I see she had one relationship prior to the marriage, and she needed somebody with a strong personality to rein in her bright ideas. She could have intimidated some people because she's forward thinking and she has a quick study mind. As a young girl, you were mature, calm, easy to relate to. So all your friends knew that you were Mother Confessor. Some of them were silly, but you never were. The example would be some of them might at 12 years old said, let's jump up on the roof and see if we can jump off. And she'd say, I'm not doing that. You could break your leg, because she had common sense. The work line, everybody who hits the 40s says to themselves, I want something else. I don't know what it is. So she puts 110% into anything undertaken. Her work ethic is highly approved. I think she's on a career path now, but she wants to add the podcast for her toolbox of things she knows how to do. So she picked up that experience. She picks up information daily. She wants to share it. That means she's a teacher. The example is you learn there's been a breakthrough in cancer and you tell your friends about it because they didn't hear. So now you're teaching. She's meticulous in paperwork, detail oriented, organized, detail oriented mind. Reproduction has the possibility of having 4 children. It would have been 2 boys and 2 girls. I don't know if she had any or whether or not, but it's what's there. And it says that the egg is determined by the male, so it wouldn't have mattered what's on her hand. And what I saw was 2 and 2. So she could have had all boys, all girls, one of each. It doesn't matter. So on the past lives, she has 4 symbols, and that equals 400 years old in experience, because I have to count each symbol as 100 years, even though we die sometimes at 35 if you live during Christ's time. So she carries that all through her lifeline. She has implants or memory banks inside that are implanted that say, don't do that. We did that last time. It didn't work. So actually, her average is 4 to 7, and she's so average, it's perfect. I like it. I believe one of those lives you were a firefighter and you were a male, because our sex changes every time. And so it means you wanted to save people. And so you are a caregiver. And that could have been hundreds of years ago. So the soulmate symbol is by the wrist. It's a little pyramid that some people have, and some people have 2 long, skinny lines. And she has that mark, and it says she's been with that person in another lifetime. Your system lights up with recognition of the internal connection, but not their physical appearance. It's who's inside there. So each time we return to this dimension, the sex changes. So she came 4 times, so she was male, female, male, female. If she had to come back, she'd be a guy next time, but she doesn't have to come back. You got it this time. So I think you are done, and either have it or will complete your karmic debt payback this time around. So a soulmate is actually a partner who takes half of your load, you take half of their load, and then you walk the same path. You like and dislike the same things, same food, same music from high school. You hate and love the same everything. You vote the same way. You have the same philosophy about life. And there's no bickering, competition, frustration, aggravation, sexual tension most of the time. But nobody's perfect, and sometimes that happens because that's life. So she loves herself unconditionally, even though she's hard on herself and lenient with the whole world. And you set strong boundaries with people. How was that?
Amazing.
Spot
Did you
on.
like it?
It was. I have no words. It was amazing. I have
That's what
said many
people say. I
times.
blow them away.
I'm blown away. I've told now. I was pointing at Gia because I have said many times. I have been a guy before, and I am not being a girl again. This is the last time. The next time I am going to be a guy.
Yes.
Like,
That's funny. Well,
and I did look into firefighting again this life, and didn't. I also did go to. I went into criminology and was I graduated with everything that I needed to join a police force,
oh my gosh.
but I didn't do the boot camp and follow through.
Okay, but it
And I'm
doesn't
actually,
matter. It means
I'm
you
glad.
wanted your aptitude was for that, and you worked for it. But you can use your degree for anything because that means you could do anything.
Yep,
Right.
and I'm definitely a teacher. There's just so many things. That was hands down the most amazing thing I've ever heard. The only thing is I got really, really sad when I heard about the children.
What did you have? Did you have any?
No, I
Okay.
didn't. And that was by marital choice.
Okay.
Um,
But you had the right plumbing. That's what that's showing.
right,
Okay.
right.
All right. So did you liked it? That's all I wanted to.
I loved it.
Oh, good.
I loved it.
Okay. Do you want to do any more? Do you want to do some questions and answers, and then the next one?
Let's just do all the readings. Let's get them all out of the way,
They,
and then
they want their turn.
I'm gonna do Gia next. So, Kelvin,
Okay.
are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. So it says your lifeline is a double fork at the end of it. And usually we have a lifeline and a fork, and it looks like this. Just here's a lifeline, and there's a fork at the end. So you have a double. So what that tells me is you're a caregiver in all situations, and it says you have high intelligence. It says you have 2 guardian angels, and most people have 1 or 2. I just have 1. And these are personal people who were close to you and they passed away. They either get buried or cremated, but they didn't go up. They ascend. They didn't ascend. They hang out with you. They ascend when you do. So it says on the past lives, you aren't going to like this. Normal's 4 to 7. You have 10.
I believe
I only
it.
yell over 20, so that's okay. But 10 means you're 1,000 years old in experience, and the other 2 better listen to you. Oh no,
Yes.
wait a minute, Lily has more than that. Okay, so you have 10. You have to return a few more times. You won't get everything straightened out this lifetime, but that's okay because you're young and you can do that. So you're clearly marked with 2 drownings, and most people in a past life drown once. They don't ever do that again because they learned it, and you had 2 of them. So you drowned in 2 different lifetimes. And usually normal passing shows you have 8 chances to be with a soulmate. So you have 8 normal lifetimes. So anytime, whatever you were in those other lifetimes, at least you didn't drown more than twice. Some people have more than that. Your heredity line reveals a lot of hardworking individuals who never give up or give in, and that was your relatives. And you have those genes. It's your gene pool. You say to yourself, I will accomplish this unless or else. If it kills me, I'm doing this. So you have determination, right?
Yes.
Tenacity, perseverance. So your love line shows some activity early, then a long relationship that's gone or soon will be. You have not seen a soulmate yet. That's why you have to come and back. Shows you're artistic and could be famous one day, but this is the best part. Your system needs somebody who will walk the talk with you to a drummer's beat. In other words, you're going to be in lockstep like this. And so you have to be on the same path or they're not a soulmate. So soulmates mean a couple different things. And I made up a pyramid that I invented. I don't know if you can see it. You probably can't over there. See this pyramid?
Oh, I do.
So I'm going to read to you what it's made up of. First of all, every building in a pyramid is a building, has a foundation built with trust, honor, respect, spontaneity, affection, and love. But the characteristics you need in a person, you already have them. But this is what you're looking for: communication. So you don't have to pull it out of them one word at a time. Physical appearance, so that if I stood you up in the corner, you look like a match set. Spirituality means if somebody fell down over here and broke their leg, you wouldn't go, I didn't see that. Let somebody else, you go help. Sexual compatibility means on the same page. So some men go, twice a year is enough. I don't really like it. You'd be cheated. And some men go 17 times a week is good. You'd be cheated because that isn't the way it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be spontaneous. Then you have to have a similar belief system, and that's higher powers. So that could be God, Buddha, guardian angels, animal guides, totems, it doesn't matter. You have something that you know is up there. So if they're an atheist and they don't believe and you do, it's not going to work. So I invented that pyramid to help people. They hang that on their refrigerator, a lot of them, and they just keep looking at it because they want that. When you already are, that's who you are already. So you're supposed to have a soulmate, but not everybody gets one. If you're happily married but not with one that works for you, it's fine. I don't care. But this is the person who's not in your hip pocket all the time. They don't tell you what to wear and what to say, how to act. But nobody's king of the mountain all the time. Compromising, caring, and making the relationship last a lifetime is what you really want. And there's no competition between you and the other person. You just accept each other 100% unconditional love. All that plus arguing happened in a past life with the person you're going to find this time who's one of your 10 past lives. And that's who you end up with. So it'll be easy to relate to each other. So on work, you began at a young age and learned from your parents at an early age how to save money or when you earned it. It could have been babysitting. It could have been part-time jobs. But if you wanted a sweater, you got it because you earned it. You didn't just sit your head down. You'll be able to retire earlier than the rest of us, and I'm still working. This is the time you can do whatever gives your heart joy because you're going to have someone in your life who says, I make enough, you don't need to work. And isn't that too bad? You can take a class, go to lectures, work in a charity program, study on your own, take up a new hobby. So the X symbol on anybody's hand means good luck. Unless it's on the lifeline, then it's the guardian angels. So your X symbol means regarding work comes easily to you. You carry a sister line, which means double strength for yourself. It's like you, yourself, and you. So you have that on anything you do. So with work, you just tackle it. And if you don't get it, you keep on going till you do. So you have a knowing that allows you to interview well because you can read the interviewer and you can also interview other people. And ESP, you have more than most people, and this comes into play in any relationship you have this lifetime. Because most people have one mark here, maybe two. You have 2.5 already, and you're not done. You're going to get more. Now I have 4. The highest you can have is 5. And the example would be Jeannie Dixon. You're too young to know this. But she's the one who told Kennedy, Texas, I'm a seeress. And I can see in the whole scenario, you're going to get killed.
Wow.
That ended. And the other one would be Edgar Casey was known as the sleeping prophet. You've heard of him?
Yep,
He
I
would lay
do.
down on the couch. People would write letters to him. His secretary would read it to him when he's in a dead sleep, and he would diagnose what was wrong with him better than most doctors, and he had no education at all. So that means he had a gift, and it just came through in his sleep. He was channeling. So here's my note for you. You always seem to gravitate to jobs that involves humanity because you like the human mind, body, soul, spirit, and you work in many of those fields, or you could.
Mhm.
You would not be happy working alone. An example here would be like you work in the medical field or police investigation work, and that's funny that Maya said that. And all involve human contact. You're a worrier and you take on too much responsibility some of the time, and you need to pace yourself or you'll have burnout. You like to do writing and research and they come easy for you. You're capable of doing them well. You enjoy questioning people. You're a perfectionist and you have creative ideas. You believe in the follow through. You will heal your past wounds and find freedom. You are an above board individual, and if you borrow $5 from a friend, you pay it back. You don't get quiet about it and hope they'll forget. And if you take out a library book, you take it back. You don't keep it.
Yes.
Nobody knows. So that's yours. How did you like that?
It is spot on.
Oh my gosh.
And you have me, I'm holding back tears.
Well, I do this to everybody. It's spot on. Usually, if I mess up, it's because I misread it. But I try to get as much as I can get. See how yours wasn't
Yes.
like hers?
Not at all. And the two guardians, it initially had me choked up
You know who
because
they are?
I do.
Okay,
I
some
do.
people do and some don't. Yeah.
My grandparents, not from one side, but one from each side.
Were they close to you? They would have to be.
Incredibly, they were the two individuals who cared for me the most
Okay, well,
before they passed.
they didn't want to leave because you're their charge. They're going to watch you, guide you. I make people cry all the time.
I love it. I love it because
they're protecting you. Here's what it is: the white light from God's all over you, your house, work, your car, wherever you go, because it's them. They're putting it. And if you need help on anything, if you just do this, they're around and they say, yes, what is it you need? And they'll help you get it.
I love it. They're my loves, my whole my heart. And when you were talking about the past lives, I had to kind of giggle a little because, gosh, I feel old. I think that in my head a lot.
Is more than 4 to 7, so see, you're a little more beyond. But wait till you see what happened to Lily.
I'm excited. And then the other thing that really got me, every bit of it was 100% accurate, 100%. And the soulmate piece, because
Is that what you're looking for?
it was what I was really focused on. And then I lost a lot of hope.
Well, don't. It's coming. I see it. I would have to send you a wedding present. That's
Oh my God. And the famous bit and the medical bit, I was in school for biological anthropology for 20 years. I'm waiting for my son to get older so that I can go and do med school. Yes. Yeah. Oh my, you're amazing. Thank you.
And you don't like to work by yourself.
I don't.
You want people around you.
I do. I need that.
Okay, so now should I do Lily?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Now hers is really different. So this might blow you away. I hope it does. So you're the youngest one, right?
Yeah.
You're the oldest one because you've been here 11 times, so you're 1,100 years old. Gia was 1,000 years old or 1,000 years old, and Maya only has 4. Okay, I have 1. But I was a master palmist last time, and I was a male. That's why I gravitated to them. Okay, so here's Lily. Your lifeline says you do everything with distinct flair or style. Look at the hat. That's you already. See? It's only your personality. I can't help it. That's who you are. So if I came to your house, I would say, that is so you, right? If you came to mine, you'd see my animals and everything back here, all my hands. You'd say, that looks like a palm reader's room. And it is. That's this room. So it says, you're a powerhouse of constant ideas. And you have a huge amount of energy. And you put it into your ideas. Your longevity is the 90s, but you heard the explanation. So we know you're going to 120 or 130. You'll be in a little red convertible running around 4 feet off the ground. I could see that. So your background makeup is not how long you will live, but what your gene pool is. And anybody under the age of 50, that's you, will see that. And you come from hardworking people. who never gave up, who were fighters, same as the other ones. So that's a good thing. That makes you the fighter too. Your lifeline has a double thickness, and this line starts on the baby finger side of the palm here, and it goes towards the middle. So look at your hand, and you
Mm-hmm.
might see it, and it has to be your right hand if you're right-handed.
I'm a lefty.
Then look, of course, look on your left hand. I forgot that. It runs down, so it's a double, and when it's that thick and it's a double line, it's called Mother Earth, and that means your feet are firmly on the ground. You care about humanity, community, animals, the weather, everything. You want to heal the earth. So you're your own best friend, your own worst enemy. You push yourself to accomplish goals that you set for yourself. You possess creative thought processing and you think outside of the box. So you're eager to learn and conquer new areas daily. Your spiritual, loving, giving, thoughtful, caring characteristics. You're intuitive. You can read others. You have a high IQ. You all three do. And you possess more than the average ESP. The love line says you missed a few opportunities at a young age. You had a couple relationships. They happened up to the mid-late 20s. Nothing stuck. A union shows in the 30s. And how old are you now? You're in that age.
Mid-30s, yeah.
So the mate you will have or already have will be alike, not an opposite. And you always attract in opposites because you're a left and they're all righty. So here's what happened. The righty is normal. They're right here. But a lefty's over here somewhere because I've been married to three of them. So I know I'm one of them. So here's the example that I forgot to do for all of you. Everybody fold your hands up like this. Hold your hands. Okay, where's your thumb? Which one's on top?
The right.
Uh-huh. I knew that. Because you were born right-handed and you're so independent, you made yourself left-handed, even as an infant. That's why your brain works different than theirs. The other two are right-handed. So Maya and Gia, both of you fold your hands and look and see which thumb is on top.
Mine's my left.
Perfect. I knew that. Maya, you got the right on top or the left?
Right.
Yeah, I knew that too. Okay, so you're normal. And the other two are kind of they're somewhere else. They're different than us. Okay. I'm back to Lily. You're eager to, let's see. Your love line. You missed a few opportunities. The mate you will have or already have will be alike, and you'll be on the same page in work, play, and life goals. Soulmates connect on many levels, and they know each other from past life experiences. They reunite in this world to complete their payback or their karmic debt, and then they're fulfilled. Once found, soulmates can leave this dimension on Earth when it's their time to leave, and they do not ever have to come back. So this time, I think you get it, and you get to leave. Think of a pyramid, and I just went through that whole thing, and I just told you what it is here. So on the work lines, what does 2024 have in store for you? So I said yours is way different than the other two. Watch this. You're going to work with a new direction. You're going to follow through to completion on ideas that you have that you've not carried out yet. You will be approached to do a radio or TV live show in your area next year. Being a visionary, you can project your insightful ideas to the people who want you and they will go for it. You will accept the offer they make to you without hesitation. That's pretty good. And I see it there. So that means, and I see big dollar signs, so big money. In work, you want to have a complete charge of any project. You're not sloppy and you don't like people who are sloppy, procrastinators, or phony, because you're not. You don't like people who don't follow through. In any new venture you take on, it has to consist of hardworking people like you or you can't stand it. You accomplish whatever it is you decide to do. Because you become bored quickly, you need a challenge, something to look forward to, the next big thing to stimulate your mind. And you have many X's on work, and X stands for good luck. Here's my note to you. You have the teacher's block on the work area. This says you get your point across and the world would listen. You're not lazy or laid back. You are a warrior, same as the others, and you take on a lot of responsibility. So you have 11 past lives, and I got one of yours says you were during the time of Christ, and you died at 35 because you died of starvation. Those years, if they didn't have food, they just passed away. So in this lifetime, you're never going to die from starvation because you graze all the time. Is that true?
Yeah, I have a very weird relationship with food.
Okay.
Because I've starved to death in more than one past life, and so in this life, I'm like, no, it's not happening.
Okay.
I always want to have food around, and I'm a very food motivated person.
But you also eat an apple and call that okay for a while. Then a couple hours later, you eat some. That's what it shows. So you've been on Earth 11 lifetimes, and you're 1100 years old plus now. It is your last time here. When you ascend, the two angels you have will go up with you. And that's funny that you and Gia both have two angels. Maya only has one, same as me. They stay behind to take you on as their charge. And these are people that passed away since you've been born, and you're not very old. So it could be somebody in high school even who had a crush on you. You never gave them the time of day, and they just got killed in a car wreck. I made that up, but it could be. So the X symbol means good luck anywhere on the hand, and you're loaded with them all over the place. So that's a good thing. You attract emotionally healthy relationships. You're easy to talk to, so people relate with you, and you turn the old model of relationships on its head. So, in other words, they don't know what hit them. So, you're a breath of fresh air, and people feel happier in your presence. What do you think of that one?
I think it's really cool. It's like with the business stuff. So my business went international last year, and I was on a TV show last year, and then this year it'll air again on Prime Video. And so like I'm on TV and radio a lot, and then but like to have my own show is one of my
That's what it
big
is.
goals.
That's what you're going to get. Yeah.
To have my
You're
own.
going to get an offer. It might not. It's going to be in 2024. It's not today. It's coming.
Oh, no.
And
And
we're
then
going to see it because of what you have on there. Somebody will go, we need that one.
yeah, and it's all the new ideas and changes. Actually, this week Monday I met with my marketing team, and we're doing a huge pivot for January 1st to roll out a bunch of new products and courses and stuff. So you're like, everything
2024 is
changes.
it.
Yeah, it will. So
Very cool.
that's I'm very business focused. So that makes me really happy, and like I
But
totally see.
you also have to have playtime. You can't just work and then do a podcast. You have to have some time to go on a picnic with somebody.
I went to a house party last weekend. Thank you very much. I'm learning to do stuff because I built my business for 5 years, and now I get to socialize now that my business went
now
international.
you need a little social life. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, and hopefully love life eventually. And I know it's a karmic marriage,
Not
and
eventual. Okay, it's not that far into the future.
yeah, it's hopefully it's imminent and they come. And my big problem is, and I think Gia has this problem too.
Yeah.
We need an equal, and I'm incredibly ambitious with my career.
That's right. You need somebody the same as you. Yeah.
Yep, and it's
Not somebody that expects you to be the whole shooting match.
nope. So
they have to carry their weight. You carry yours.
yeah, so it's hard to find that in a human being these days.
Oh, it's hard to find a period. Yeah. Well, I'm not cute like you guys.
Whatever. You look great.
I married 63 years altogether. First one was 20, passed away. Second one, 13, and it was a divorce. This one's 30. It's a lot of marriage. Since I was 20, I haven't been alone.
That's
So
awesome.
I know the soulmate thing because I got it this time. If the first one didn't die, I'd still be there. Because it was a good, stable marriage, but it wasn't with this one. So we just knew, and one day we just clicked. And he came that night, never left, stayed 3 years, then we got married.
That is so cool. So you just read all three of us, and we all loved it, obviously, by our reactions and everything. So you talk about the different lines on the hands and the X's and stuff like that. So when you do a palm reading, virtually or in person or whatever, do you also use like psychic abilities or intuition, or is it all?
I think a channel. I get it from God.
Okay.
And I just blurt it out. Yeah. So I just did a fair this past weekend. I did 30 people. The first day I did 20. Nobody, the closest to me was 14. So I did 20 people. They line up and they don't move until it's their, and then they move up one, 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 one. So every single one of them was blown away. Every one of them loved it. And they all ran and told their relatives who came the next day. And I ended up having to do the mother or the boyfriend or whoever from somebody else. So I say, wasn't your wife just here yesterday? How do you know that? And I get it right off their hand. I knew it.
Wow.
That's
That's a
awesome.
little creepy, but it's okay. I got it. So sometimes people come to my house and they walk in and I can't close my front door. And that's because their angels are coming in with them. So I say, just go on down the hall. My room's at the end of the hall. I'll be there in a minute. Then I close the door. Then I come in and I say, did you lose your grandma about 2 or 3 weeks ago? He said, yeah. How do you know that? I say, well, I'm going to describe her and you tell me if I'm right. I said, was she barely 5 feet tall? He says, yeah, yeah. He said, did she carry a pocketbook under her arm like a patent leather purse, like a clutch bag? Yeah, she never let that out of her sight. So I said, well, your grandma's over there in the corner. And then we both start crying because I don't like that
Aw.
touch. But sometimes it happens. And sometimes I just hear things. So it's called, different ways I did it, I guess.
Yeah, you integrate different modalities. So how can palm reading unlock the secrets of one's hidden talents or abilities and help with their personal growth? Like getting a palm reading, how does that help someone move forward on their life's path?
Well, because if they're stuck, and that's what I said, it's like a little push out the door. I show them right on their hand what's there. I explain it. They go, oh, I get it now. Maybe you did. It takes somebody who doesn't know, I have to not know the person. They sit down. I know them by the time we're done. So if they come here for a reading to my house, it's an hour. In an hour, I blow them away. They walk out of here going, ah. Well, their face doesn't look the same from when they came in because now they know what to do, where to go, how to make the changes, because change is important, right? So to me, change is what makes the world go around. It's energy. And if you do the same old, you're not going to grow. But if you want to grow and go up, up, up with the growth, you have to change some things. So some people are very stubborn and they won't change even when they have a reading. And I tell them, this is what I see. They're not going to do it. I can't make somebody do it. But if they hate their job or they hate where they live and it shows right on their hand, they say, why don't you find something else? Oh, no, it's too hard to move and I don't want to. I said, then quit hating it. Just tolerate it. Think of something else whenever you get to the point where you want to go, you know. So, and then sometimes some people stay with a mate for 20 years, but they should have left 10 years ago, but they're afraid to because they like the security. They like that somebody's taking care of them, even though there's no love there. So then I tell them, it'd be better to be alone because you're lonely anyway in your marriage. And they go, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Everything. I've had murderers, kidnappers, embezzlers, blackmailers, 2 people who killed somebody.
Have you had anyone famous?
Right on it, huh?
Have you ever given a reading to someone famous? Like I know you have like clients all around the world.
I can name off a bunch of famous people. So in the 70s, I lived in Hollywood, Florida, and I happened to see Jackie Gleason in a restaurant. So I kept doing this and rubbernecking. So he said, come on over here. So he said, what you staring at? And I said, you look just like Jackie Gleason. He said, I am Jackie Gleason. So I read the poem. He loved it. Then I did John Travolta before he even did Welcome Back, Kotter. He wasn't even doing acting yet. He owned a pizza place in Santa Barbara. So I lived in California those years. So I did him. Then I did ex-President Gerald Ford, who used to be our president. And he had 4 Secret Service with him. And he sat down and he was very abrupt and he said, I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't even believe in this stuff, but I'm at this here event and I'm the keynote speaker. And if you're not good, I'm going to tell everybody you're a faker. So I made a little prayer to myself, which I never do. And I said, make me brilliant. So I told him something. He said, you have to tell me something only I know and nobody else does, or I'm not going to believe you. So the Secret Service were standing right next to him and I made him go across the room and wait further away so they wouldn't hear. And I told them what I saw, and he jumped up and he goes, I'm a believer. Because I told him something he did when he was 19. And he goes, Betty Ford doesn't even know that.
Oh, wow.
That's a big one. Then at that same party, I did Sly Stallone, Kevin Bacon, and Ivana Trump, and that was before they
Wow.
got divorced. And she said, "Me and the Donald are like that." And I said, "Well, I'm sorry, but I see trouble in River City." She said, "What does that mean?" I said, "It means a divorce is coming." She goes, "What kind of code is that?" I said, "It's my own code. I say that when I see trouble." So she said, "Well, you're wrong. This is in Colorado now. Then nothing's going to happen." 2 weeks later, they got a divorce.
Wow.
She was in such a tight leather skirt, she couldn't sit down.
Oh my
Dang.
gosh.
Isn't that funny?
So if any of our listeners would like a reading with you, are you open for readings, and how can they schedule with you if you are?
Yeah, what they have to do is email me at Palmist, PALMIST, at myrnalou.com. And my name is spelled MYRNALOU.com. What they do is they take a picture of their hand, probably with their phone. They scan the hand that they eat and write with, and they send it to my email. And then I charge $100, which all my friends charge a lot more. And they go, "I get 160 for an astrology reading." I said, "Well, I would never pay more than 100, so I charge what I would pay, and I think that's fair." So she said, "Well, you don't need it." I said, "Oh, I love to go on vacations, and my palm reading money is our vacation money." So I just charge 100. So I do some every single week in the house. I do some on the internet every single week. And I do big events like last weekend. Next weekend, I'm in Tampa, Florida, at a big one. And then I'm in Naples right after Thanksgiving. So I'm traveling.
So,
So if they wanted a reading and they can tell me, they can write a list of questions if they want answers. They could tell me their age and say, "I need to know about that. And I look in those specific areas. But usually, even when somebody comes here with a list of questions, I say, "Put it away, wait till we're all done. And if I didn't get it, we'll talk about it." They rip the paper up. I get every single thing in the reading. They don't need it. Isn't that
I
good?
love that.
I have to get a drink.
So I've got a couple questions too. One is, so I'm ambidextrous, but my right hand is the right hand dominated, so that's why I sent you my right. Does that?
It's both sided. Yeah.
Yes. Does that
Okay.
really matter?
That's why I
very
said
much?
you have high intelligence, because you hear from both sides. A righty hears from one side. A lefty righty, that's me, because my left comes up first, hears from both sides. And a true left, which isn't Lily because she made herself left-handed, so she's a regular left, not a true. So she's a switchy, same as me. She got switched. So she hears from only the left. Okay?
Interesting.
So
Okay.
because you're ambidextrous, can you do sports with either hand?
Oh yeah, it
Like
drives
ping
my
pong
dad
or-
crazy because he and I we try to do, well, now that I have my son, the three of us will go out and we'll play softball together in the summer. But before my son was born, one of the times I decided to play a little trick on my dad. And he was pitching the ball to me, and I really quickly turned switch hit and hit it with my left, and I was able, because you control it to go in a different direction depending upon which way you're swinging, right?
Yeah.
And my dad dropped his glove and he goes, "Are you kidding me?" And I was like, "I can catch with my left and my right too."
Yeah.
And it drove him crazy.
Like
He
if you
loved
played
it.
tennis, could you hit with one hand, switch, and go?
Yes. Yeah.
That's true ambidextrous. Okay.
It is. It's I can actually write with my left. It's just that I just am so used to doing that with my right that I don't give my left.
You can't read it if you wrote it with the left anyway, probably.
Probably. I write it backwards completely. And then my other question is, you had mentioned sometimes you help teach people. Do you have like a link or anything or a way to learn from you?
Do I have what?
A way to learn palmistry from you, where you teach it?
Well, I teach it, but people have to either come here, and I do like 10 people at a time in my living room,
Okay.
or I do it on the internet, but it's the internet because you have to draw your own lines on your own. And I have the hand and they have their hand. So it's
Okay.
better to either do it in person. I wrote the book on how to do it, and I'm going to show you my book. Oh, May I See Your Hand? See that?
Yes.
And it's and I'm right on the cover there. This book is I'm self-taught, and I was 10 years old. An adult can read the book in 2 hours and teach themselves and get enough out of it to maybe study it a little bit. So the book is $20 and it's worth everything.
Where can someone get it?
Huh?
Where can someone pick up the book?
They get that one. You have to get through me because it's out of print. So then I wrote I wrote 4 books altogether, but that one is a teaching one. So I'll just show you inside real quick. You'll maybe get it. Every page has a hand on it. Can you see?
Yes.
2 hands there, a hand over here. So if there's a hand on every page, it's an illustration, and the person can figure out from their own hand what they're looking at. So there's a blank hand in here on page 25 that when I show it, a person has to look at their own hand, draw the lines in the book, put their name in the book, and then if they get stuck, they look at their own hand. I don't know if you can make that out because it's very light, but there's a hand there.
Yes.
Can you
Yep.
see it? These are the lines I teach. That's life, love, work, reproduction, bracelets. Okay, so this book is, people love it. I sell out of them. I have to get them reprinted all the time. Then the one that's the most famous one that I sell the most is Soulmate Connection. And that one is for people that are looking for a soulmate, people that already have their soulmate. And this one is $15. And a lot of people, the publisher called me up and he said, we have 900 authors here. I never read a single book, but your title, what isn't what got me, it was a subtitle. And it says everything you ever wanted to know about love, relationship, romance, and soulmates. And the first 17 pages, he said, I put more in than most people put in an entire book. And that's right there. I don't know if you could see that. There's
Wow.
46 love stories in here, and all a person has to do is relate to one of them, go out, and they can find their soulmate. So he called me up and he said, I read your book. I didn't know what a soulmate was, but everybody talks about it. I wanted one too. So after I read it, I'm going out to find my own. I had to send him a wedding present, sent him wine glasses engraved with their initials
That
because
is so cool.
my book did it. But I've already put 3,000 couples together with this book. So that means that that's 6,000 people. And I keep track of I have scrapbooks this thick full of wedding invitations, thank you notes, baby invitations for couples that I put together. I'm not sending baby presents. It's enough. I have to send them a check for their wedding. Okay, then I wrote one that's out of print, so I'm not bragging about it, but it's called The Diary of a Palm Reader. And the main one that I'm really happy about, this one is a novel, was my first novel. And it's called Cruise to the Other Side. It's about a cruise ship, a mother and a daughter, and it's a really good read. And there's a psychic in there, and all kinds of things happen. And every couple pages, you get all chills, and then it goes away. Then you get chills again. And when I wrote it, I got chills. I kept looking behind me.
Very cool. That's wonderful. Thank you so much for being on the show, for sharing your talent, for giving us readings. Everyone who is listening, please remember to subscribe to Seeking the Light of a Thousand Suns and like and share this because it is some really cool information. And you can always bop on Myrna's website or contact her via email if you want a reading or a book or anything like that. And before we sign off, is there any final thoughts you have about palmistry that you want to share with our listeners?
Well, I think that it's a fun thing, and I don't understand the cards and numerology. I do a little bit. Astrology is very difficult. This anybody could do. We all have a hand. So I know it's not flim flam. You know, it's real. And so if a person could teach themselves or learn it, however they learn it, it's just a fun thing. It was a pastime, it became a hobby, it became a full-time thing. And now I can't stop, and I'm 84 and I'm still doing it.
I love that. And we will also have your link posted up on our website.
Thank you.
Thank you so very much. And you know what? When my soulmate and I connect, I will email you and I will let you
Let me
know.
know.
You don't need to send me anything. I
Sure, I
just
will.
yeah.
If you get it one, I will do that.
I just want to say thank you so much for that amazing reading. And I know you said you did a little extra to make it special for us, and it really
Right.
was. It was absolutely amazing, and I'm so thankful.
I'm glad that you want it. Yeah.
So thank you everyone for listening to this episode on palmistry with Myrna Lou on Seeking the Light of 1,000 Suns. Please check out any recaps that we have posted and tune in for our next episode. Have a great day, everybody.
Have a great day.